vaguely red, and Lazy Dog. Time for someone's wake-up call. Boom! Don't do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collection. It's party time. P-A-R-T. Why? Because I gotta. Somebody stop me, because I'm smoking.
Loud as you can.
On the telly, they are going to say boom!
What are they going to do?
Boom! Make a big explosion.
Go on, do it again.
Boom!
Hi everyone, my name's Lee and welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. So yeah, I wanted to talk about some films going back in the 80s, you know, being old school, growing up at that time. Most of our favourite films were Superman, Batman. A lot of these films now, like the Marvel films, they're like remakes. Even the video games, Pac-Man, when it first came out, a lot of the video games now, and Mario and that, again, it's like a remake. And I spoke to my young brother about this, like the films that come out, right down to Alien, and these films came out in the 80s. I remember when it first came out. You know, and again, they're remakes. Yeah, most of those films, and Fantastic Four, you know, Superman, Batman, the big films back in the 80s, retro-wise, Teenage Mutant Turtles, and you know, and that sort of thing. Yeah. So I'll sign off for now, and yeah, boom.
I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
That's beautiful.
All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't miss a thing as they see me ride by. And a little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
So apparently, they want me to talk about working with Jeff on films. Oh, where do I start? The minute he turns up, he wants to know where his trailer is, so he knows exactly where to storm off to if someone mildly disagrees with him on something. And then when we get to filming, he wants safety shots for his safety shots, because he still hasn't worked out where his good side is, or that he doesn't actually have one. And, you know, that's even before we talk about the time he said he'd sort out catering. And believe me, we do not talk about that time.
All the throwbacks they wanted to chuck in had to be this one, didn't it? Oh yeah, I forgot I don't like knowing what time it is. Because there's never quite enough time before the end of the day. Honestly. Why did this always look so much more glamorous than the Big Bang Theory?
Come on. In tonight's news, vampire cats are slowly taking over Balamorum and eating all the custard creams, which is really disturbing all the elderly people who are, well, turning into dust.
Just kidding! What has working with Jeff taught me over the last few years? Well, I mean, Jeff and I have been working together, making discussion videos and other things for many years. And I mean, having worked on both student films, Hollywood productions, and the best part of everything in between, the one thing I like about the films that we've made together is we're just going plainly back to basics. You know, and the main thing is we just make the most of what's available to us. When we started making films, we had a few locations. We had the flat, we had a nearby park area that had an amusement park and a forest, and a large hill. We made use of all of those. And a couple of streets nearby that didn't get too busy, so, you know, we could record it without a bunch of big, loud vans going past. So we just used that. We got a couple of friends involved, and, you know, by the end of it, fast forward a few months, and we had a short film that has now been viewed 10,000 times on YouTube. So, and we've just kind of kept going from there, and it plays to both our strengths, and we both bring things to the table. So I've had many years experience in acting, and I've also been on a lot of professional sets, and I can work out what most of the people running around actually do now, which is very handy. And also Jeff has a lot of experience in content creation, video editing, promotion. So putting all of those together, I think, has really helped us make some good films that, you know, okay, they weren't produced on a huge budget. In fact, they were barely produced on any budget at all, but we still managed to get something together, and I think it's made both of us better performers as a result. You know, a lot of it is based on a rough idea and some improv, and when you do that, occasionally you'll get the odd bit of magic appear, and we've had our fair share of those, and long may more continue.
I grew up in the 80s. Did you grow up in the 80s? 80s. I was 82. I was born.
81.
81 and
82.
82, the same. See, so with us, it was like you brought up in a previous show, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles around 1990, 91 was such a huge phase that I remember that my parents had to queue up, like Jeff was saying as well. His dad queued up every week to get him a turtle, and that's what that's how big the Turtles franchise is today. It's I think second to only Star Wars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But so you yourself, Phil, what was your earliest memories of what toys you had in the 80s?
Oh my goodness, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
My favourite was the Proton Pack.
The Proton Pack with the yellow foam.
The yellow foam.
Yeah.
And
which went absolutely everywhere, I bet.
Yeah. And the little ghost. I don't know why. I lost one, and then I gained a second one from somewhere. I'm not sure why, but it could be because another neighbour brought their toy and left it in my trap.
Right, yeah. I remember the little toy in the trap, and
then several years later they said, "Phil, do you remember that that trap?" I went, "Yeah." Where did that ghost go? I opened it up and I said, "Do you mean this one?" It actually came round once and I found it in the attic, and I said, "Do you mean this one?" I'm like, "Wonder where that went."
Yeah, I wonder where that went. Wonder where that went 23 years ago, Phil.
Exactly.
What about yourself, Nick? Your earliest memory of the first real toy that you loved back in the 80s?
Well, for me, it was all about Fisher-Price.
Ah.
I was never really into like the superhero stuff. I watched the cartoons and I had no idea what was going on. So we had a lot of Fisher-Price stuff. I have an older sister, and we had like a giant Cindy house in the bedroom that we shared, and there was lots of random My Little Ponies, which I wasn't hugely into, but you know they were they were everywhere. And we were into Fisher-Price. I was really into the Get-Along Gang. I thought that was a really good cartoon, because it was kind of like there's a lot of good messages in that one about like getting on with people. I mean, the Get-Along Gang sounds like some kind of gang you wouldn't want to join nowadays, but they were one of the better gangs about. So I was really into those. I was really into Transformer toys. Not so much the cartoons. Love the Transformer toys and how you can kind of like turn it into different things.
Same.
Those absolutely love them. So those were really good. I mean, you've probably seen it kind of like when we're going around the house. We have lots of random stuff. I mean, whenever you go to these toy fairs, there's all these random little figures and stuff. We have loads of those. There is a huge box buried in the cupboard that I showed you in my first ever appearance on this channel. And yes, at some point I'm going to go through it, and that's probably going to be, well, it's going to be epic.
Can't wait.
So those were the things that I was really into. But yeah, you know, like I loved my cartoons growing up, so I was really into all of them. And in the 90s, I really got into a lot of the Cosgrove Hall cartoons. So Danger Mouse, Count Duckula, those were kind of like my favourite cartoons to watch, and I have like a few figures of them as well. So yeah, that was kind of my childhood.
Sounds pretty epic. Count Duckula. And Phil, yourself, like going now from the 80s into the 90s, the Ghostbusters was big in the 80s from 84 onwards, and then we had Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles in the UK because they wasn't allowed to use the ninja. That was around 1990 going into 91, 92. After 91, for me, it was massively WWF wrestling. How about yourself, when we sort of stepped foot into the 90s and we were approaching for the same age, 10 years old in 92, what would you sort of, as you're going into being a teenager, what would you have been into?
Oh goodness. Well, apart from wrestling, gaming.
Yes.
Yeah. The Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2, the actual Capcom sort of cartridge from the Super Nintendo, with Blanca doing a barrel roll on the cover, and Chun-Li doing a kick on the front cover. And I remember also with not just WCW but WWF, one of my favourite characters, I would say, in WCW would be Sting, and WWF there is a number of characters I'd like to mention, but I'd say one prominent one I would say that will stick in my mind mainly would be the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh yeah.
And the Hulk.
The Hulkster.
Hulkamaniac.
Hulkamaniac's running wild.
Oh yeah!
The cream of the crop. Sammy. Yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes, everyone remembers Randy Savage. In the 90s, well, I had all 26 original Noddy books, and I was proud of that, and I still am. I got into gaming a lot as well. I was really into the Mario games. People forget just how addictive those games were. I was really into gaming. I wasn't very good at it though, and regularly had to be told to stop screaming at the TV. Not my proudest moment. So I was really into those, so the Sonic games as well, really good. Where I was more used to Mario, I found the gameplay on Sonic to be a bit more complicated, but I think it was very sort of much Nintendo versus Sega at that point. I think the only reason we might have been so pro Nintendo in our house was because we couldn't afford a Mega Drive. So I was really into those. But yeah, there were loads of good games. I mean, we had there was like a really good Jackie Chan platform game that we used to play, which was really good, and he had a few kung fu kicks as well. Everyone was really into that kind of like the hangover from the Karate Kid had not worn off yet by that point. But I was really into games like Kirby, Dizzy, Legend of Zelda, really good games as well. And just kind of games with a lot of heart and a lot of thought as well. It's not just brainlessly shooting at stuff. It's I kind of liked how they often gave you something to think about as well.
No doubt, absolutely. I mean, for us, it was similar. I remember we didn't have the Mega Drive till quite late, and
same here.
We got. I remember one Christmas getting the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, with the Turtles game with it, and it was like the best thing ever. We were playing it, and got to a certain level where the electricity's in the water, and I just couldn't get past this level. And to this day, it haunts me still. I'm like, I want to get that game, and I'm like. So, and then eventually we then got the Sega Master System, which at the time was amazing. A friend of ours said, look, we've just got the Mega Drive, so would you like to buy our Master System, and we'll throw in like 6 of the games? And I'm like, yeah. And those games, I believe, one of them was I think Mike Tyson boxing, and a wrestling game, and it was like, this isn't the Mega Drive, but this is still awesome. And then eventually we did get the Mega Drive, because I think for its time in the early 90s, it was quite expensive for the working class family, as you say.
Oh yeah, it was the cutting edge of technology.
Exactly, 16-bit. And when we finally got that, the first game I got with that was Super WrestleMania. And I remember me and my dad playing it, and my dad said to me, the graphics, this is amazing. And this would have been in 1992. And now, I mean, I recently got that game and one of these small little miniature Mega Drives, and for nostalgia, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, wow, at the time we thought it was something else, and now it's like a little block, and it just goes to show you where we are today when you look at the graphics on the new wrestling games, the new football games. What's it going to be like in another 30 years? It'll be like the footballers or the wrestlers are in your living room, maybe. But yeah, and yourself, Phil, like, what was your favourite console and game that comes to mind around the time when they really became big, which was early 1990, 91 into 92 with the Mega Drive, and then obviously 96 we got the Nintendo 64 and the Sony PlayStation, both released in 96, and it was like, do I go for the PlayStation or the 64? I chose the 64. Everybody at school chose the PlayStation. To this day, the 64 is my all-time favourite console. WCW NWO Revenge, my favourite game, followed closely by WrestleMania 2000. But the 64, Nintendo for me is the one. Yourself, what's your opinion on your memories of your favourite console?
My favourite, I'd say the PlayStation.
Yeah, Sony PlayStation.
Sony PlayStation. Now, between the first and the second one, now it shocked me actually with the second one, because they keep enhancing the graphics. Now, as you would see today, whereas if you're going back then, like for example Resident Evil, the game known as a sort of horror / RPG game these days, is a real classic, because if you actually see the remastered version, considering in those days the way the graphics and technology were today, it's pretty outstanding. Now, Resident Evil 2 was absolutely amazing. The graphics, everything, the characters that came to life, brilliant in the early to mid 90s, and also the Game Boy as well, the handheld games.
Groundbreaking.
Oh yes, loved that at the time.
From the Game Boys, where you came from with a grey case and the like the red buttons, and then they end up enhancing on the Game Boy Advance with colour. But I still loved it from even when it first came out as the Game Boy. It was amazing because you could it was a portable handheld console. You could walk around with it everywhere. You could have small cartridges you could put at the back.
Yeah.
And one of the games that I had, apart from Tetris, was Jurassic Park, and it made me laugh because all the little graphics with the little man going around, which looked similar.
Dr. Alan Grant.
That's it, Dr. Alan Grant himself.
Yeah.
The graphics on it actually made me laugh because it reminded me a little bit of like Pac-Man, with the graphics going all the way around when you're going around like in a little maze when you're trying to get the dinosaur eggs and everything. Oh no, it was amazing. Yeah, that's the fun days I had with Game Boy.
Yeah, I had a Game Boy as well. I had Lemmings, which was occasionally very difficult to watch on the Game Boy, but I had kind of like all the Mario games. I remember there were a couple of Donkey Kong games which were really quite something to look at, and but yeah, you know, so yeah, I got a lot of good memories as well. I think my all-time favorite console would be the NES, just because of how groundbreaking it was at the time. You know, I mean, it first came out in the mid-80s, and you know, it was like nothing anyone had seen before. You know, it took like Pong and Space Invaders to a whole new level, and yeah, you know, it just kind of really pushed the boundaries, and people forget just how many games there were available for it. So yeah, so using them as well. We did get a SNES later on. I think we were a bit of latecomers to the SNES. I think we ended up getting a SNES shortly before the N64 came out. And we got a NES shortly before the SNES came out. So yeah, we weren't very with the trends necessarily, but we had a good time nonetheless.
Excellent.
Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
You do. So, well, Swaley, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Nick.
And well, the track that you've chosen isn't from the 80s and 90s, but we'll forgive you because it is a very good song, perhaps timely as well. Hopefully I'm not tempting fate for the rest of the week by playing that. We'll be chatting to Michael in a couple of weeks' time. Very much looking forward to having him on. On the subject of guests, let's meet our first one on the evening, and he seems to have taken off very quickly on that old thing we call YouTube. Hello, Swaley Loughnane.
How we doing, Nick? You all good, my friend?
I am indeed, matey. And so you last joined us when we were chatting about the film we were both in. Mm-hmm. It's still available to watch online, folks. And yes, we've done lots of things acting in, but just recently you have become a rather prolific YouTuber.
By accident. What happened is I started getting heavily into my collecting of vintage and retro memorabilia, movie memorabilia, toys from the 80s and 90s.
His collection is unbelievable, listeners. He has like a room dedicated to himself, and it kind of looks like it might fall over at any point.
There you are, yeah, exactly that. And I still find extra, you know, it's like, oh, I'm not getting any more. And then, so I started, I went to somewhere called Nerd Bay, so I saw some Hasbro WWF figures. I'm like, oh, I'll just get the one. And then I said, there's my number, call me if you get any more. And I'm thinking, well, don't, because I've got an obsessive compulsive nature, so, and an addictive personality. So they've like, oh yeah, we've got another 4 in. So I went down and got them, and then it was like, oh, let's try this shop, let's try that shop. And then my brother, Sonny, said to me, why don't you film all this, like you going around the shops? And I said, and the toy fairs, I said, all right, okay, we can do, I'm going to do one toy fair. I don't want to be a YouTuber. Not for any, you know, because I've got enough on my plate, really. I don't want to have going out trying to find content all the time. Obviously being a struggling actor, having a full-time job as well. So I said, let's do this, the Rayleigh Toy Fair. I'll film that. Well, I filmed it, I put it onto my YouTube account that had been set up for several years, and I just put some acting stuff on there, just basically for myself to look back on and whatnot. And I then changed the name from just being Swaley Loughnane actor to 80s and 90s retro collector, and that video I put on just went like several thousand views and likes and comments, and I'm like, okay, That didn't happen with anything I put on to do with acting, but there seems to be a lot of people interested in all this thing. So my brother said, oh, we've got the Sandown Toy Fair coming up, which is one of the biggest ones in the UK. Why don't you film that? And I went, no, because I want to be in the moment and enjoy it. And he went, oh, just film it, go on, just do 10 minutes. Filmed that, put it on, and it blew up. Got several thousand subscribers come from that. So once we did that, I then thought, you know what, I did enjoy the whole Sandown experience, and it just went from there. Then obviously with yourself, literally just having fun with it. So it wasn't like I sat there and went, I want to be a YouTuber, but I love it. I'm passionate about the collecting. I love talking to people about it. People have followed me on Instagram and they're like, oh, I'm now collecting Teenage Mutant Turtles, and it's helped me focus on something and get while I'm in recovery. I mean, I had somebody that was addicted to heavy drugs contact me through Instagram 2 Saturdays back and said they saw one of the YouTube videos, and because of that, they were sort of embarrassed. Like they loved all the retro stuff, but they were sort of embarrassed to sort of do anything about it. But now they've set their own Instagram page up. They're into collecting, and it's helped them stay away from the drugs. And and another person that was an alcoholic said something quite similar. And I'm like, that you know, that mate, and myself as well. It keeps me on the straight and narrow because. I felt a little bit like before I'd go to work, I'd do my auditions, I'd do some filming, I'd do the gym like yourself, which it is still work, isn't it? It's not fun, it's still work. So yeah, it's given me a new lease of life as such, and I really, love it all. It is an addiction though. It's like, I need a bigger property here because where am I putting all this stuff, you know? And you know, but I don't know, I've just go with the flow.
I think what we've established is there are plenty worse addictions that you could be having and probably spending a lot more money on as well.
That's right.
I mean, having got involved in it myself, I mean,
Hello, Barmy Badger Army. This is the 80s and 90s Retro Collector, and this is the Brawling Badger and Viking, and we're here for a lovely little collab about Thundercats. Please don't forget to subscribe to Brawling Badger Film Productions or Brawling Badger Productions, and make sure to click the like bells and everything, and make sure to say hi to Swaley, Nick and the Badger in the comments. Viking's here, and she's going to tell us all about her Thundercats collection growing up. I was a big fan of Thundercats back in the day, and I loved having all the different toys. My favourite toy was the Lion-O sword that I used to bash the absolute snot out of everything.
Did you have the one that made the noise, or did you have the one that actually extended?
I had the one that made the noises. My mum threw it away, and I've never got it again.
Sad time.
It's very sad times. So if anyone wants to help me get a new retro Lion-O sword, my life would be a better place.
I don't think mine would be, because you'd be running around going like,
oh! Right, that's enough from me. But yeah, if you guys want to ever help donate towards me getting a new Lion-O sword, I would be so much better for it. Even if it was one of the newer ones, I'd be happy.
oh, good Lord, no. Ugh.
Anyway,
No,
that's enough about me.
no.
Viking's going to take over and talk all about her retro collection, and we have a little example of it right now.
My little example. I want to take a guess at what my little example would be. It would probably be my favourite little character.
Snarf.
Okay, it's all faded and everything. We had to, I had to, because eyesight is terrible when you get older. It's like a 1986. It's the original stuff, and here's mine. It was mine from when I was about 7 or 8. And I got him for Christmas because I was very much a tomboy. So for my birthday, because unfortunately it falls in December, I used to get girly things and stuff that I'd just go, that's nice, and then just sit there and hope for Christmas is good. You have like the really cool like aunties and uncles and things that go, oh, they like Thundercats. I've got more. Apparently my mum says that they're not in the loft, she threw them out. I'm really hoping that they're still in my mum's loft. So I have a kit and cat, a Lionel, and I believe I can't remember what villain I had. I know I had a villain, I can't.
Everyone had Mum-Ra.
I didn't have Mum-Ra.
I really hope she didn't chuck them away, because that's hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of toys that we will obviously have to try and re-get.
I didn't have the sword though. My Thundercats collection was actually quite small compared to my He-Man collection. My He-Man and She-Ra collection was quite large.
Yes.
But he's the one that he evaded everything, and he was sort of like found at the back of a cupboard.
Wow.
So, you know, when I was a teenager, and I just thought, well, I'll just put him in a box. And then when I moved out, I was like, oh, there he is. He can go and live in the kitchen and live in the living room. And then the cats found him and played with him. So he's very, very beaten up. But I absolutely love him. He's my favourite. He's my favourite little chap. Do you have a favourite?
I did. Obviously, I had the Lino sword, Lino. I absolutely love Panthro.
Panthro.
Probably had a very early crush on Chitaro.
Was it Chitara?
Chitara. Yes.
Every dad in the 80s and 90s, well, it was 80s because it was finished in the late 80s, isn't it? Every dad didn't mind watching Thundercats. They enjoyed Thundercats for that one reason. But I do love my Sheriff.
Yeah, so let us know some of the things that you enjoyed back in the day. Obviously, Thundercats, He-Man. I was a big fan of all sorts of stuff. Visionaries. Definitely going to do another video for...
No, mine was Mask.
Mask Crusaders. The thing is, I actually loved playing Mask in the playground. We used to pretend that we had all these different things, but I never had any Mask toys.
I did.
Did you? Yeah. I didn't have any Mask toys, but it was one of my favourites to watch. Yeah. And my poor Optimus Prime, apparently now it's like worth £500 to £600 mint in box. Mine was absolutely smashed to hell because I used to throw it up and down and used to bash it around. I used to literally...
Yeah, but you loved it.
I did love it.
And as an adult now, we all go back and go, I really wished I hadn't put lipstick on my Teddy Ruxpin. Which apparently should be in my mum's loft, but he has lipstick. He has lipstick on his fur. He had actual fur.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
See, anyone that's seen Paranormal Activity knows that there's a fantastic reference to Teddy Ruxpin.
No, because I don't like it. No.
Right, thank you very much everyone for watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. It's been a fun ride. I'm looking forward to collabing loads more with you guys. And this is the Brawling Badger. Please, please, please check out the channel. We got a new spooky horror film out called Anniversary. And it will be great to see you comment on that. Bye! And thanks for watching.
Hey Retro Heads, it's Nick here with another delve into my record collection. Today I have 3 albums for you that you should definitely check out from acts you may or may not have heard of, but are definitely worth a listen. First up is Bennett, and this is an album of theirs called Supernatural. It was released on Roadrunner Records, who are better known for putting out albums by the likes of Machine Head and Sepultura. So this was a bit of a departure for them. They're actually a big poppy indie band, and this features one track that was a hit called Mum's Gone to Iceland. The reason it didn't become the theme tune to Iceland's adverts is because it's actually quite anti-consumerism. But this album has so many good poppy... if you were a fan of like indie pop in the 90s, then you're going to love this album. Definitely recommend it. They released one other album called Street vs. Science in 97. This one came out in 96. before splitting up, but they have gone back together at least once since then. So let's hope for another reunion soon from them, shall we? Next one is Credit to the Nation and Take Dis. Credit to the Nation are a UK hip-hop act. This album was released in about 1993-94, and it was a time when a lot of UK hip-hop wasn't making a lot of inroads. Credit to the Nation, undeservedly, I think. But I think a lot of people see UK hip hop as kind of like a poorer cousin of US hip hop, which was obviously huge at the time. But there's some really good gems to be found in there. Credit to the Nation had one hit in the UK called Teenage Sensation. They released a couple of albums, and they have split up and got back together a couple of times. And this album, as well as Teenage Sensation, features a song called Call It What You Want, which takes the very bold move of sampling Smells Like Teen Spirit. A lot of rappers wouldn't touch that one, but Credit to the Nation did, and credit to them for that. I would definitely recommend checking out this album. It's very 90s in a good way. The last album that I'm going to recommend you today is a band called Cube, and an album called Fast Food. Now, Cube weren't a hugely successful act, unfortunately. The singer was the brother of the lead singer of Space Hog, whom you might recall had a hit with In the Meantime. I think that was featured in a film or a TV show. But he sounds very similar to the lead singer of Space Hog. This album has a couple of tracks on it: Have Another Drink, Scrounger, Natural Millionaire. There's some really good tracks on here that were actually quite experimental. They've got it starts with the very indie-fied Have Another Drink, which in my mind was a great lost hit, and then another one called Scrounger, which seemed to have a lot more kind of like of a dancier influence. So I would definitely recommend checking out this album if you can find it. So there's 3 recommendations for you, some great 90s albums. I have loads more in my record collection. And I will look forward to sharing those with you in future shows.
They had games as well. They had games. They could play board games, card games. As far as I'm aware, they had crossover comics from going from anime to DC, MCU. Yeah, quite a lot actually. But unfortunately, it was fun while it lasted, and they're no longer running anymore. But as I was saying, getting back to the comic, the Ninja Turtles crossover with Ghostbusters was amazing. Now, it started off with, I would say, the storyline with Ghostbusters, and then Ninja Turtles came over the crossover because there was like a portal where they crossed over, and the Turtles became Ghostbusters as well. So there you became Ghostbusting Ninja Turtles, which was great. And yeah, it was well, I wouldn't say unusual. I'd say it was. I wouldn't say it was the usual alliance or crossover people would have expected, but it worked. So yeah, if you check out online, I'm sure there was something regarding on there. I'll have to double check as well on there, but it caught my eye. As far as I'm aware, that was one of the rare sort of moments that caught my eye when I thought, no, I gotta have that. It was a great comic. I must have read it. Oof. You know what? I can't even remember how many times I've read it. So many times I just can't count now. It was really, really interesting, and the animation and graphics that was put into it, the effort was amazing. It's just great artwork, great storyline, great plot. So yeah, without further ado, I would check that out. If you're into crossovers, check that out, definitely. On my next topic, I would like to touch upon soon would be not just crossovers, but also a storyline plot where you have cameos of other characters that are part of the MCU or DC crossovers. So you do have a lot of crossovers of different characters in the MCU world and the DC and even unusual alliances that you wouldn't expect as well that you may come across. So yeah, expect the unexpected, folks. All right, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you with that one. That's just one of the few topics that I thought I'd suggest to check out in regards to having crossovers and comics and animation, the 80s and 90s. All right, folks, Cookie Monster is off. Yeah, I think the boys want more munchies. Cookie, cookie, cookie! Love you and leave you. Enjoy this episode, folks. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. You are now watching 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Enjoy the episode. Bye for now. Ciao. Adios. Cookie, cookie, cookie.
You are watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Thank you.
Boom.
There's someone in the back there. Charlie, check the back, will you? Do you want to jump out, mate? Jump out the vehicle, please.
Oh, come on, mate, out you come.
Been in trouble with the police before?
Don't grab me like that.
Got anything on you shouldn't have?
Don't grab me like that. Whoa, I'm not grabbing you or anything. Just step round the side.
Help's gone to the shop, has he?
Let's just be up against the car.
Search him, will you?
Charlie, you know, for the same scenario every single day, man. I don't get a break with you lot.
Hello everybody, you are watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Make sure you subscribe. Whoa! You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Come on!
Hello, it's me, Brawling Badger, star of Ballamorran, Drained and Essex FBI Investigates. And you are watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Have fun and don't forget to like, share and subscribe and enjoy the video.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Hi, my name is Daniel Egan and I'm an actor and I was in Star Wars A Rogue One Story. I played two characters, a Death Trooper and a Partisan. And I'd like to say hello to all my fans and especially 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Thank you.
You are watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
People who don't have a glass phone screen protector, the confidence on you, oh, I'm worried. If you're going around with your iPhone, your Android, whatever you use, you don't have an extra set of glass on front or a case.
People who like to skydive.
on the edge constantly. Again, nothing wrong with it. If that's a choice you make, you stand by it, my friend. But we're just keeping a little watch on you.
Yeah, I like this. Can I add one to it?
I would love you to.
Have you heard of a 5-bird roast?
It's on the list.
No, not yet. I'm opening up. So I'm going to nick his hoodie before he goes, because I'm a little bit chilly.
Handle this.
And the Velocette, they're both racing bikes. That's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, sir. A lovely bike. That's what they used to call the old calf racing, the original gold star BSA.
I'm sure I've got a picture of my dad.
Yeah.
In the 60s.
Yeah. You couldn't ride that far on them, not really. Everyone said how uncomfortable they were. They were just made to be a yobbo. They were the original yobbo bike. If you could start it, because there's been a few broken legs starting them when they kick back. Buggers were kicking back.
Mm-hmm.
That bike there was built for a land speed record at Pendine Sands. Yeah, Guy Martin was going to ride it. And he done one run on it, and then Airbus dropped out sponsorship just before the event was to take place. So Guy Martin said, well, I'm not riding it if Airbus aren't sponsoring me. So the bloke that built it, he spent so much money on it, and decided to take it to Centre Pod to see what it would do. So he races race bikes himself. He's got a 2.3 Harley V-Rod engine in it, turbocharged and nitrous it is. And he videoed him going down the strip at Centre Pod. And he went through the line, sub-9s, and he said he'd never cracked himself so much and he raced his bikes. And when they put the video back, he missed the wall 3 times by about 5 inches. He said he hit the button and it just took off. Yeah. Yeah, and you got the wheelie bar is the size of that again. It straps on the back, and there's a parachute goes on it to stop it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, big wheelie bar sticking out the back. Yeah. I mean,
The paint job on this one as well. The Airbus.
yeah, it's a lovely paint.
It's got the old parachute and everything to
Yeah.
go on the back. And Brett said, can I bring it in? We went, we ain't going to have no room in the museum, but it has got all the big stuff that goes on the back, the parachute, the whole lot that goes on the back.
And when they took it to Centre Pod, they put the small turbo on it, which is on it at the moment. Yeah, it's got a bigger turbo, quite a big one, but it was on it before. But because it hasn't been run for about 7 years, he was going to sell it. But the thing is, when they worked out how much it would cost, because you've got to go through the whole thing again, because a bike like that, like about 5 or 6 grand. So when you put that on top of the price, it was over what they wanted to pay for it because they wanted to race it. They wanted to race it. As soon as you mentioned the word digital.
How much are them pops, mate? Cool.
Without the box are £3.
Yes. Okay, my friend. Ah, yeah.
You guys want to know a bit about my films apparently, so I'm going to tell you a little bit now about them. Now, it was a long story short. I went through a lot of weird changes in my life about 4 years ago, so now I sort of decided that was the time to catalyst a change, do something different and enjoy something different to push me forward in life. Now, it was a tough one. Myself and the lovely Nick Field were always talking about how to make films and we should make a film, and we did. We made Necromonicon Lost in the Woods, which was a fantastic little film, and then of course that followed on Balamoron and several other films. These are all zero budget films, and I've kept to that promise ever since we started making films. I've always created them on a zero budget or a very, very tight shoestring, because that is where the fun comes in. We get constraints, we think, how can we work around this? How can we do this without any money? And how can we get the best out of each situation without using too much money or special effects? And it really adds to the charm of the films. I think they're very quintessentially British, and they're very cute and very popular. Balamoron's doing very well so far. I think it's gone viral, so it's lovely to see. And I would love you guys to comment on that video, Balamoron, and let me know that you've been watching it, because it is a cult classic British YouTube hit, and I've loved it, everything that you guys have done for it, and you've really celebrated it, so thank you. Of course, we did a copy slash reboot slash sequel of Necromonicon Lost in the Woods and called it Whisper in the Woods, and that was a really great little film with myself and Nick, and it went over a similar premise, but we changed a lot of it, added lots of special effects in, and really enjoyed our time on the set of that one. And it was a really good little find. I hope you enjoyed the rest of today's show, and I really hope you guys continue to support the 80s and 90s retro collector, as Swaley's a great guy. Now, I'll see you all soon, and no doubt I'll be in more videos very soon. And thank you very much for watching, everyone. See you next time. Bye. Ninja Turtles in here now.
Oh man! Oh yeah! Oh yeah, man!
That's the fella from Police Academy. Show this YouTuber your impersonation of him. That Police Academy man, bro.
Please get them number 2. And then PS1 games in here when I last come here.
Bruce, WrestleMania tonight, brother. Yeah, oh, Ghostbusters coming, and all. Right, let's whip round, bruv, because this shuts in about an hour. Hello, baby. How you doing? All right.
You're watching 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Boom!
On a phone.
Boom!
Boom! Boom!
Again?
Boom!
Boom! Boom!
Boom!
Boom!
Boom!
Boom!
Boom!
Boom!
Boom!
Boom!
You are currently watching 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Boom!
Boom!
Friend. Boom! So, and boom! Alright, yeah?
Yeah, got him.
Okay.
Score for that.
Wow.
20 for that. You know?
Yeah,
But to
how
make
much
it
was the
complete-
whole set though with that, if you'd have got that on
So
that?
I bought the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've already got the tank. Got him last week.
Right.
Tenner.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done a trade.
So it's cost you, stands you in 30 quid.
That's
sweet.
it, yeah. But to make him complete, which puts it now up to 3.5,
Right.
you have to have it complete.
Yeah, course. Good find then, mate.
Yeah.
I like these. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Top man, bro.
What, man, over right? Yeah. I'm not sure yet. I ain't made my mind up. I'm gonna. Yeah. These are nice when they make these like make do with it, aren't they? Nah. Including 15. They do look so cool though, don't they? Look at that, man.
Just give me something else to aim for.
Mate, how cool is that, man?
Yeah,
15 quid?
No, yeah, I've got a few on order.
Right.
Sandan.
Okay. The perfect figure to put with the street shop, bruv. The honky tonk man with his guitar.
Oh, that's good with a guitar though.
Very good condition. Or if you want to even more exciting, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
At least they're complete.
Yeah, for the accessories, exactly. Original Rainbow Bright, 1980. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I pretty much only buy spares.
Oh, really?
It's your wishes business, that's why I don't
It does get crazy. I come to the last one last year and it was really good. Last year I don't think there was as many as what there is this time, but yeah. Traders. I mean, it was chaotic last year. I mean, you couldn't even move. You were like that. I mean, it'll get busier. Yeah, it'll get crazy.
Yeah, look how mint that Ravishing McRood is. Not a mark, are they?
How much that?
20 quid. Missile off the Shark Tank. I bought the Shark Tank last week in the box. Got it up for a tenner. Now it went in the cup. Listen, that makes him complete. Now it's worth 300. Yeah, it does do it. Yeah, it's cool. I did want him complete, but they're hard to get complete, man. You know? Are you a collector of those? Just starting, mate. Just fell in love with it last Saturday. Yeah, I'm a turtle guy myself, but I think we lit the peak of that, you know, because it's never ending, you know? Yeah, I'm the Transformers guy. Transformers guy, yeah. It's the Brendan song, man. Nah, so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to switch to another line, at least. And Master Universe. Yeah, I love to, yeah. The origin stuff's fantastic. Yeah, it is, mate, definitely. It's just never ending, like you say, in clouds. It's always a new line I'm buying. Every time I go to one of these fairs, I'm like, I don't know, like a frying pan with turtles on them, coming home with it, pizza cutter and all that. I'm like, no, it's got to stop, mate, you know? The old woman thinks I've gone mental.
Especially when he makes her dress up as a turtle.
Yeah, that's why I
Hello, mate.
Yeah, what we got? What we say? All I've got so far is that.
And you're £20.
Just a few like Hasbros at the minute, loose ones, yeah, and Rainbow Bright, my partner loved it, and I saw an original one over there box, so I'm gonna wander around and may get that, mate.
Go for it. Cheers. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, dude.
Like the barbecue.
I've got one. I've got his Megazord at home, Thank you. I might see if they're out later.
I know.
Star Wars collection for 18 as well. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. How much, eh? Okay, I'll have a look at that in a minute.
Let me know if you get any glare off my mouth.
Hey?
Let me know if you get any glare off.
Oh, well, just yeah. Oh, the old original atmosphere again.
You need a VHS player.
Do you know what? I've actually got one at the back of a cupboard somewhere.
Oh, right. That's a nice little starter one. That was actually my starter one before I got a better one.
Is that you? Must have to it. It is. Yeah. I see you somewhere else, and I picked one of these up, and I couldn't remember who it was off. Is it all right to take a sticker?
Yeah, would you get it?
Yeah.
Last time.
Yes. Yeah. I got some stickers. Right. Oh, lovely, mate. Oh, wow, that's cool. Oh, Gizmo.
Yeah, but the baby's coming.
Oh, I've never seen that, no.
35 on that one.
35 is cool. What year was it, do you know? It's got to be 80s, isn't it? Is there a tag on them? Oh, look, Sam, that gummy bear, mate. Oh, inside it, yeah. 91, yeah, that's when Gremlins 2 came out. That is a tidy gummy bear.
That is, isn't it? Look, it's got the original, look.
I got him at Birmingham 2 weeks ago, but he didn't have this t-shirt on. It's nice. They just didn't have this top with him, but it's exactly the same. But do you know? Let me have a think on that, because I loved them as a kid. So whenever I see them now, it's nostalgia. Yeah.
He said he wouldn't let it go. He said, I'm having that
I'm not stopped. From Peters, yeah. What about you?
Oh, right. I can't imagine he's one of those ones that pick up, okay, that's from that. It's like it's from
How much you got in the mad balls in the boxes?
90.
Right, yeah, they're good. I've got one of those.
Yeah, they were sort of 110, and then someone bought them on Instagram and like flooded eBay with them at 110, and he's got like 2 of each. So it's like, well,
Literally everywhere. What about the mad ball in the packet?
125.
A couple of different things, yeah. Just that's like the brand to sort of weigh it all up. Oh yeah. Fibre moisture miles colouring. Oh mate, the original sticker. That is very cool. Oh, fibre? Yeah, because I bought a bundle of them. Right. Well, that was a bargain.
You know what's that?
Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector!
Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro.
The 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Sarah.
Yeah, this is first wife.
That's right,
Early
yeah.
Undertaker.
I love it, dude.
I find this really nice company called Ink Incorporated. It will make any tattoo, and you can get them faded down as well, fade them up or fade them down so they look actually old.
Wow, I love it.
It'll take about 2 weeks to come off that now.
Love it. They're very cool, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. Look at that. Very cool. Okay.
Might go.
Looks right. Yeah.
To infinity and beyond.
What, like 600?
499.
Yeah. You selling it, mate?
No, not selling it. No,
Yeah.
but it is really worth it.
Do you mind if I take that and show me friend and bring it back?
Hey, Buzz. Okay. No, he's not going to do it. Where the battery's so low now, he's not going to do it. But
this is from America.
Is it? America?
Yeah, I have that at home.
But because the battery's almost out now, once it's charged, it'll work properly. But yeah. But no, worth it. The Optimus Prime is better.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm
much
for a Buzz though.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Like that. That's lovely. How much was that?
That was 40.
It's not bad, is it?
Show the back end of it again.
Wow. And that's from 1985 probably, isn't it?
Yeah. No, kids colouring.
No, 40 quid. Wow.
Oh yeah. You've got Slade Wise that comes with, is it Timber? Timber, right, Direwolf, He's the one they've done the small version.
I've got that. I've got a bunch of loose drag strip there. And I've got white cars. Thanks again. Hello.
It's just interesting.
Spread out.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
First up, sorry. This is a variant on Ludo in which you have to get your 4 counters to the same home spot. The difference is you draw instead of a dice you use cards, and every so often you will draw a sorry card, which means you get to start somewhere on the board where an existing counter already is belonging to someone else, and you get to send them home. In a different era, that game would have been called Ha Ha, You're Now Gonna Lose. So I kind of like the fact that it's actually something a bit more empathetic, such as sorry. My nephews really like that game, and they really like this one as well. Trapdoor. Trapdoor is another of these games where you're working your way around a board and you have to get a few of your marbles into the tray in the middle, and every so often if you land on someone or if someone lands on you, they get to push you, and if you are on a trapdoor space, then down you go back to the beginning. But not every space is a trapdoor space, and the board, you get to like move the board around so a few times during the game, so yes, so you're never quite sure if you've landed on a trapdoor space or not. Last one that I really like, Dingbats. This was a sort of precursor to catchphrase on TV, I suppose. You just had a card with a couple of photos on it, which all add up to a well-known phrase or saying, and you have to work out what it is. So I really liked Dingbats. It was always full of random stuff, and it always got you thinking. And yeah, it was a bit more thoughtful than a lot of other board games, which is what childhood me really liked. I think I got that for Christmas when I was 10, and was really pleased to have got that. So yes, that was 3 of my favourite board games. Let us know in the comments what yours are, and yes, we'll be going on some more board game hunting very soon. Latest Retro Heads.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. I am here this evening with 2 good friends of mine, Mr. Badger, Mr. Field. And we are going to do a little bit of talking about what got us into collecting in the first place and what we are most passionate about, nostalgia-wise. So I'd like to start off with yourself, Mr. Brooks.
Lovely.
What is your favourite thing to collect and why?
Well, we've sort of discussed this off camera before, but there's a few things. Retro Spider-Man toys, retro Venom toys, Alien and Predator, and I love board games. Now, the board games bit, thinking back on it, I didn't even realise why before, even when we were talking before, but now it's clicked in. I used to spend hours and hours with my dad playing chess and drafts, and then my mum used to play Frustration with me, Kaplunk, all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games that were out, and all these different things. So a lot of my interests all sort of intertwine a bit, because when I was playing all the board games, I was watching the cartoons that were to do with them. I used to play the Crystal Maze board game a lot, and the Noel's House Party game, which I didn't really understand the rules of, but those two were fun. I was not allowed to play the Crystal Maze board game anymore after the fact that I rigged up the house like a trap room. So that sort of put stop to that. My mum and dad were very old-fashioned, you know. I got a walloping back in the day because I rigged up the house. I think my dad nearly broke his leg.
Oh dear. Atmosphere. Either of you guys have any? You maggots!
Atmosphere's fantastic. I'm not sure if I've ever got my copy. Keep talking. I'm gonna have a look, see if I've got my copy.
Atmosphere, Nick. Any memories of that horrible man on there that says,
not playing it,
come here, and you go to the screen and he goes, you maggot! And you're like, oh my goodness.
I remember saying that on TV and being put off ever playing it.
See this?
See this?
Yes, this is it.
That's kind of like...
Love it. Wow.
And this is the DVD special edition that came out quite a few years ago. There's now an app version, but I like the DVD version because it's more involved. You get more involved with the DVD, and the DVD one is more like the original game. The one that's come out where it has an app is a bit less involved.
Okay.
So this one is by far the best edition in my book. I also have another game that I never played when I was a kid, but I love playing it now, which is Ghost Castle. And that's one of my favourites. That is.
Oh yeah, we used to play that a lot.
And that's a big shout out to Viking for getting me that the other year for Christmas on my birthday. I can't remember which one, but it was fantastic.
The skull and see where it lands.
That's it. It's no longer a skull. It is just a normal marble ball. But
lame.
The same effect is there, yeah.
Cool. So yourself, Nick, I mean, with me, it's WWF. I mean, anybody that watches my channel or looks on my Instagram, I love collecting a variety of stuff, but the wrestling stuff holds a very special place in my heart because there's a memory attached to every one of those figures. I remember when I got Nails on the yellow card when I was out with my mum one day and Nan, and we went into Argos. I remember when I got Mr. Perfect when I went to work with my dad one day. So that they are very, I sit there and I look at my collection and each one of them has got a lovely memory attached. So that's for me, it's definitely the WWF, now WWE for the younger viewers there, figures. What's sort of special with that sort of with those memories attached for yourself, Nick?
In terms of what I was collecting?
Yeah.
I really liked collecting the Beano comics. I had loads of Beano comics, got the annual pretty much every year, and my oldest nephew really got into it as well, so he was reading a lot of Beanos at one point. So we have even more of them than we used to. But yeah, I was really into like cartoons and comics. I had a bunch of comics from Count Duckula, Tiny Toon Adventures, Sylvanian Families, if anyone remembers them. But yeah, all of those I really enjoyed. That was what I was really into collecting. We were also into collecting little figures. So we had loads of those to do with the Get Along Gang. What else? Acorn Green, Care Bears, Smurfs. There are hundreds of Smurfs figures. It's quite ridiculous. So we had a lot of those
So yeah, and we've still got loads of them in like boxes and stuff. You know, I'm not really allowed to collect anything now because we still have too much stuff that we just can't contribute to even much more.
See, I'm the devil on the shoulder. I'll be like, Nick, you could start collecting this. And I'll be like, I bought you this for your new collection. It's a metaphorical thing, but one day there will be something there and be like, I got you a present.
It's a new Beano annual that just come out, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there you go.
And with you yourself, so obviously you got the Beano with yourself, Nick, and me with the wrestling. And then as I've got older, there's stuff that I didn't like as a child that's grown on me. There's stuff that my brother was into. And I've got to be honest, Masters of the Universe, he used to get what I thought were these ugly little figures, like gremlin type figures. And I used to be scared of them as a small child. I'm like, I
thought He-Man was terrifying when I was a kid.
And the movie terrified me when they all chased Courtney Cox and that hairy thing. And I'm like, no, I do not like this. But
with Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, see, I was actually really scared. And with, you know, obviously Skeletor and Evil Lyn. Evil Lyn scared me more than Skeletor, I think.
Same.
In the film.
And
anyway.
I was scared of it, exactly. And it grew on me. Now, I look at, like when I see the Masters of the Universe logo, I've rewatched the film a few times. It's now one of my favourite films. And I love looking at a carded He-Man. I absolutely hate when you get these figures that come out and there's no effort. Like if you look at a lot of the newer stuff, the effort in the Masters of the Universe logo on some of the new stuff, it's just white. And then you look at how the effort and passion they put into the logos, Turtles, He-Man, Thundercats back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s. They in My Little Pony now it feels like they've just quickly got it to, and like let's just release, and the same with wrestling, you know.
Yeah, I mean some of the wrestling figures. I was going to say that some of the wrestling figures now, you look at it and you have to look at who it is on the nameplate to realise who it is.
Yeah.
Some of the times it's really obvious, like Hogan, Ric Flair, Rowdy Roddy Piper, all that sort of stuff. That's really obvious.
Yeah.
But if it's like a wrestler that's like a mid-carder and they haven't really done a great render of their face, I'm like, who is this? Like,
yeah, I mean, you can look at, I get some new stuff, but you look at the difference from the art on the old Turtles cards and Masters of the Universe. That's what that they've realised that. That's why they're now doing these reproductions. And they're exactly the same, aren't they, as the ones in the 80s and 90s, because people want that. You know, instead of the new, no effort's gone in. It just says Master of the Universe, like somebody's painted it on, and then you got a He-Man on there, and you're like, is that meant to be He? So do you know, that's why so many people I speak to, like, if I could just jump in a time machine and go back to 1985, you know, when the movie soundtracks, everything had more passion behind it. And like, do you get that? Being with the same similar age, aren't we?
I mean, what I miss now, I know that a lot of them were a bit pants, but what I miss now is that when you had a big blockbuster out, you had a video game to go with it. Yeah. Even the early Marvel films had that. There was a Thor game that was to do with the first Thor, and I think there was an Iron Man game that came out on the Wii. And I miss movie tie-ins because it was fun to go see the movie, and then if you had a spare 40 quid in your pocket, you'd go to game, you'd buy the game, and then you'd experience the whole thing again, but you were playing the film.
Absolutely.
And I miss that, you know.
I do too, like on the Sega Mega Drive and the NES, the Ninja Turtles, and then Batman Returns. I remember playing the game and like, I miss that. There's a lot. The reason I tend to go to a lot of the older shops, there's a lot that I miss nowadays, and I'm glad I was a child when I was a child. I feel very lucky to have lived in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
You know?
A lot of people talk about this era of time as the world is so close together, but there's more people that are lonelier than ever.
Absolutely.
Because people have lost the skill of socialising and going out and leaving the house.
Yes.
Everything is given to you. You're lucky, but also unlucky at the same time. I was never good at socialising as a child. I actually had to get better at it as a teenager and an adult.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people the other way around.
Yeah.
But nowadays, people aren't forced is the wrong word, given the opportunity to try and meet new people and do these different things.
I think if you want to meet more people online through online communities, you know, and they certainly have their place, but you want to be able to level it out by meeting in real life as well.
Yes.
I mean, I got to meet so many people through a Romford community forum in the noughties. And, you know, when I'd go out and we'd recognise each other from there and we'd talk like we already knew each other, because technically we already did. So, you know, and it just helped me become so much more outgoing and sociable, which I'd never been very good at as a kid. So, you know, for various conditions that I didn't realise I had at the time. So, yeah, so, you know, if you are the sort of person who associates a lot with a lot of online communities, just don't lose track of meeting people in real life as well.
Touching grass.
Yes, exactly.
And I mean, finally,
and not that whole Katy Perry, I've been outside now, so I'm an outsider. No, it's...
No, yes. So,
I've been up to the sky. I'm an astronaut.
No comment. Anyway, so we're obviously actors. What is it?
So's Katy Perry. I've been up.
Can somebody send this guy a Katy Perry autograph picture so he can burn it? Or get a kite and sort of attach it and go, yeah, you're back up there, Katy, back up with the fairies.
You stay up there forever, you Satanist.
Right, so what is it that got you guys into performing arts and acting? Was it your love of movies, being movie buffs?
Yes.
Same as me,
yeah. For me, like I was saying to you earlier on, I had a bit of a few bad instances. My brother died, had a bit of a bad separation, things like that. So I always said to Nick, we need to do this, don't we? I said for years to Nick, even when we were doing On the Bench before, let's do a horror film. You know, we can do it. And then what happened was I had a few bad things happen in my life. I took 6 months off YouTube, and then I come back and went, you know what, I can actually do this. S.D to it. I want to move forward with my life and do something that I've never been brave enough to do. And that is what spurred me on. The fact that,
good for you.
Yeah, that is literally what made me do it, because I was like, you know what, I can't put it off any longer. If I put it off, nothing will ever happen, and I won't get to do it, and then I've done it. And we've had so many experiences already where we've had loads of fun, meeting new people, doing new things. I don't think I'd have ever met you, Swaley, unless I'd have made Nick from Monaco and Lost in the Woods and Ballamore and things like that. I don't think we'd have ever met. So it just shows you, you know, how things happen.
And I wouldn't have met Nick if it wasn't for Tony introducing me to him and getting Nick involved with playing one of our detectives in Mother's Child, which is a feature that we did, and it opens so many doors, and it's like, it's fate, isn't it? There's certain people I think on your journey you're meant to meet, and and it's working out good, you know. Unfortunately, like any journey, you're gonna have a few bumps in the road, but ultimately we're here now doing something we enjoy, and I hope you guys watching enjoy it, and you know, and we're very blessed to be talking about all this stuff.
I mean, that was the thing with us. There's been a couple of people that were in the team that aren't now, but there's a lovely person called MX Time Bunny. She's come back into the fold, which is great. So we lost a couple and gained one back. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. And then obviously now we've gained you on the team as well.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, and I'm loving it so far, guys. All the collabing, I think the world of you guys. I'm so pleased that we're all part of the same team and on the same side here. Now, with yourself, Nick, what was it that got you into? I mean, you're a very hard-working guy. Anybody that follow this guy on Instagram, he's on set most days, and then he'll do a radio show Then he will go and do stand-up comedy, which is amazing. I recently watched him and I can't wait to see him again, hopefully in Upminster.
And a full-time job.
And a full-time job. Yeah, I don't know if he's got a bed or a television, because I don't know if he'd have time to use either of them. But what was it that got you, my friend, we've worked together on probably 4 or 5 projects over the last 6-7 years of knowing one another. What was it that first got you involved with this? Because you were a shy child growing up, you've told me several times.
I was. I mean, I did it. I mean, I. The thing was, it's like I was the one who could always like read with expression at school. Everybody else was reading like this, and often I'd get involved in like plays and media studies filming because everyone else was too scared to be on camera. So a lot of the time it was like, fine, I'll do it. And I got offered a role when they did a version of A Christmas Carol. And so that was 30 years ago now. But it was about just over a decade ago when I finally took the plunge and got into voiceover work after saying years that I would actually do it. And one of the sites that I applied looking for voiceover work and joined also had bits and bobs of acting and extra work. So I thought, I'll put myself forward for this and do some networking and see what happens, and it kind of just evolved from there. So it was something that I'd kind of entertained for a long time, and then I started getting roles and people liked the performances I was putting in, you know. I mean, I haven't got my heart set on being like a Hollywood leading man or anything like that, but I really do enjoy working with upcoming producers and other actors and things like that, and it's just something that I find that I really enjoy doing.
And you're very good at it. You can play a wide variety of characters. I mean, I've seen you play a hard-faced detective in Mother's Child, which is currently on Prime Video, guys, check it out. And I've also seen you play so many different roles. I mean, you played a coach, didn't you? And you are a teacher. You've played. Well, I mean, is there any roles you haven't played? You've pretty much covered. You know, you're the most versatile actor that I've worked with.
Yeah. I played heads of crime syndicates, and I have one. And I've got a couple more coming out. There's another one called Mega Twisters, in which I played a scientist. Okay. And I think the thing is, when you're acting, you kind of have to see what roles fit you. So I get casted a lot as police officers, teachers, therapists, because that's the kind of impression that I bring across. And when you are an actor, you know, there is nothing wrong with kind of leaning into what people see you as, at least to begin with, because you will get more work that way.
Yeah. See,
tell us what kind of role. Tell us in the comments what kind of roles Badger would be cast as.
Now, as you know,
love to hear.
9 times out of 10, it's homeless man. But I do it well.
There's a market for playing homeless people.
I do it well. Eccentric mental patient, I think, is going to be one I want to go for. Homeless man, eccentric mental patient, eccentric billionaire, I think would be perfect. I would love to play as a wrestler. I think that would be great.
You would be a great wrestler. You have a great look, and we've definitely got to get you involved with a team effort.
Yes, indeed.
You have got to be one of our wrestlers, and you have got some pretty cool tattoos.
Thank you.
I saw the Batman one before, but I didn't notice this and this alien. And show them the Batman for the people that haven't seen. And it's Batman '89.
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton. That is absolutely amazing. I love it. I really want that tattoo.
Yeah.
Just you know, like I love.
So I think, you know, there's different ones, but I also here's a bit of a plug here and there, but Knock Knock Special Edition Director's Cut. I actually, in that, I play a serial killer called, obviously, Knock Knock, and you know, I think that was one of my favourite roles so far. I was able to channel my inner Jason, and I really loved it. And people are asking for the sequel, and I'm like, crumbs, I'm going to do a sequel to this.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
But that was one of my favourite roles so far, was playing a sort of slasher villain. Yeah, but I thoroughly enjoy being Essex FBI and Big Cheese and all that sort of stuff.
And you're great at comedy.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I love
thank
all
you.
the stuff, and I love the daily dad jokes that you post on your YouTube channel. It always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
My partner, my daughter, even, she shouldn't be listening to some of them, but she does. She's 8 going on 18, and yeah, it sort of makes us smile when we see you first thing in the morning while we're having our breakfast. So yeah, you're both of you guys are great comedians.
Yeah.
Which again I love. So yeah, sorry.
No, I was just saying that Nick is fantastically dry. When you unlock that side of him, he is a very dry comedian, and it just works perfect. Because originally, the character of Nick Field on the field, as it were, you know,
Field Agent Field,
was a very dry, bored, grumpy character.
Yeah.
And then as he's evolved, he's actually become like a bit more sort of lively and stuff like that. So I quite like it. And we've even managed to put in there that he's bi and things like that, so we've really developed the character. Big Cheese has stayed a grumpy FBI boss with a bit more personality. Obviously they're more friends now, but when we first started out, it was very much, you know, grumpy 9-to-5 FBI agent with over-the-top manic boss, and it's nice that the change up has happened. Not all the fans like that, but my opinion is the fact that characters will evolve.
Yeah.
And these characters have been around for a few years now, so if you don't change them up, it's going to get stale. You know. So, and obviously with you now, hopefully about a bit more, we'll be able to introduce you as well. And Idris is going to be here as well. Unfortunately, he couldn't make tonight, but he's looking forward to meeting you. And obviously, if we get Time Bunny involved, some other people, you'll be able to meet some really quality people. So
Looking
it's really
forward
good.
to it.
Yeah.
I mean, saying again about the dry humour with Nick, he reminds me. I mean, his acting style, some of the stuff. I've seen everything he's done because he's not only a friend of mine, but I'm a fan of his work and I admire his work ethic. He reminds me of like a Tom Hanks, a very versatile. And if you can watch the guy playing in a comedy role, and you watch him in he could play a great serial killer, and I'm going to believe it. And there's very few actors that can pull that off. Robin Williams being one, Tom Hanks being another one, and I could probably, and maybe Robert De Niro.
Yeah, because there's actually a film that Nick was in. I'm a fan of it, and it's unreleased, unfortunately, and that's called The Grocer, where he does play a serial killer in that. And I'm telling you, even my stepson thought it was fantastic, and they are very hard to please. So I would recommend that we try and get Nick as maybe something either in Knock Knock 2, but I want Nick to be like the police officer in that. But maybe, you know, we can sort something out. There's a twist there or something. Maybe we can figure something out. But yeah, Nick as a serial killer, because of the dryness, because of the straight edge kind of, and then there's a bit of humour there. It's fantastic.
Excellent, love it. And what's your dream role? I mean, finally, just to finish up here, what if if Steven Spielberg come up to you and said, look, I've seen all your stuff, we've got a great budget here, I'd like you, I'd like to work with you. What would your ideal dream? What made you want to get into acting? Like
I said, it's the love of the business, the love of the entertainment.
What do you see your favourite type of movie? What would you like to star in? Like a Jurassic Park movie, a Marvel movie? What's your dream role as an actor?
As long as I get to be the comedy sidekick with all the great comedy lines, I'm happy.
Now, I don't know if you remember it, but there's a film called American Splendor. So, for me, I would love to have a film about my own life. And that's not being egotistical.
Good film, American Splendor. I've seen it. Yeah.
That's not being egotistical. It's because my life is so weird at times that I think it would make a great dry comedy.
I'd watch it. Yeah.
But my dream role, like you were saying, was either to be, basic would be to be killed in a horror film, or be a Jason-like character. I think that would be fantastic.
I would love that. My favourite horror is Friday the 13th.
Yes.
And I would love to be like I always said if I could get cast in like a soap, I would want to be the bad guy. It's so much more fun, isn't it, to play that bad guy.
That's right.
You get your teeth into that role, and obviously you guys being horror fans, what's your favourite horror movie of all time?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Obviously, I really love the Blair Witch Project. I really love Halloween, Exorcist, all that sort of stuff. Really a big fan. Grew up loving slashers, like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
I would say my ultimate film is not necessarily one film, but the Scream quadrilogy.
That's what I would say would be mine as well. Just because I really like it's satirical, but also has all the tension of the films that it's aware of.
That's it. Yeah. What about you, Smokey?
My favourite horror from I've got a favourite from 70s, 80s, 90s. I like Carrie. That was actually John Travolta's debut film.
Yeah.
Proper film. He was the boy in the bubble before that. Carrie, because my mum was such a massive John Travolta fan, she's like, "Oh, watch this film, John Travolta's sort of debut." I'm like, yeah. So I watched that a lot. So that was my favourite horror. Then I liked Christine, the killer car, from the 80s, and I believe it came out in 1981. Was the first Friday the 13th. Love it. Seen it loads of times. The 90s, my favourite would be the original Child's Play from 1990, Chucky. Again, seen it so many times, love it. From 2000, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
That's it.
96, so with the early 90s, it's Child's Play. 96 onwards, definitely Scream. Love Scream.
Yep.
Love all the Scream movies.
And we got a new one coming out, and there's a new I Know What You Did Last Summer coming out as well.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
And a
that.
new Final Destination.
Yeah.
Saw that at the train station yesterday. So,
Lucky you didn't get squished.
Yes.
So yes, it's ridiculous, but you're tense when you're watching it.
And it's also Tobe Hooper's last ever role.
And this is the Final Destination.
Yeah.
Right? Tobe Hooper for the Chainsaw Massacre.
No. The guy, Candyman, isn't it?
Tony Todd.
Yes,
Tony Todd.
Right.
Tony Todd, it's his last role because he died shortly after filming the voiceovers for Venom, the new Spider-Man game. Yes. So this is his last acting role. And, which is sad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Legend.
and absolute ledge. But
Candyman. Terrified.
And the new, I don't know if you've seen it, but the reboot of Candyman, technically the fourth one, was a superb film. So if you've not seen that, please do watch it. They did Candyman 1, Candyman 2, they did some straight to DVD garbage, and then they made one on Prime, and it was chef's kiss.
Absolutely right, we'll have to do it. Now, where could the viewers see your great films, Jeff?
Right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Swaley. If you hop on to YouTube and type in Brawling Badger Productions and then type in Ballamoron, you will find it. There's a whole playlist of all the new, different films. Obviously we've got the Essex FBI ones, we've got Ballamoron, we've got the series of where, you know, I won't lie, when I get bored, I make a trap film, which is basically a parody on Saw. That's a bit of fun. I've also got an Easter special out called Eggshells, and I did one recently, which is, I think, one of my favourite horror films that I've made, which is called Anniversary, about a man who's alone in his house. He celebrates his dead wife's anniversary, and then, you know, things come back to haunt him, and bad things that he's done get revealed, and it's quite spooky.
I look forward to seeing that. Okay, and how would somebody be able to get hold of yourself if they wanted to either audition for a role in one of your projects, ask you some advice on breaking into the acting business, and so on and so forth?
Well,
Jeff?
obviously you could, if you wanted a quick answer, you could comment on one of the films, or you could get in touch via Instagram, things like that.
Excellent. There you have it,
Brawling
guys.
Badger Films, I think, on Instagram.
On it, yeah.
I'm sure that
that's
there'll
right.
be many people that would love to be involved in some of your great. I mean, I'm very grateful for being cast, and we're going to shoot a scene after this. And you know, I've been watching you guys for a good couple of years now, and I love the way you guys, you're like a great double act, and the comedy, and whether it's comedy, horror, so you can sort of play it all. So to be involved with you, I've been wanting to do it for a while, so I'm very grateful for that. Yourself, Nick, where could anybody that wanted to see some of your work go to, please?
nickfieldmedia.com is my website, and that, I think, all my social media links. I'm at Nickfield Media on all the socials. I do have a YouTube channel which has my show reels on, so you can find me on there. And so those are the main means of getting in touch with me.
IMDb,
IMDb, I'm on there as well. We're all on IMDb, with our impressive resumes.
Yes.
And yeah, so you can also hear me every Wednesday at 8 PM on phoenixfm.com as well.
That's it. And also you can check me out on my own channel and Swaley's, because we've been doing daily collabs on there. In fact, I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning this morning and filmed one, and then promptly went back to sleep afterwards.
I literally went on, and as I've gone on, literally he's like, here you go, mate. I'm like, wow, okay, that was good timing. And always enjoy watching your stuff, and I know all the viewers do. They, you know, and it's it's good fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this chat, and many more to come, hopefully.
And we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments, guys. Please give us a like and subscribe. Also to this gentleman's, and check this guy's Instagram out. He is a hard worker that deserves support, because he
doesn't sleep.
He doesn't sleep. And he just needs that lucky break. If anybody's watching, like Steven Spielberg, making a new Jurassic Park or whatever.
I know. I'd love for you to work with Yul Boll. I think it'd be hilarious.
The next Dr. Alan Grant. Yeah.
I think you should work with Yul Boll, and that way, if you don't get on with him, you'd have a boxing match at the end.
Boom, boom, boom. Right, guys. You have a great evening. Thanks for watching the show. We're now going to get to work on the scene.
And we'll see you next time. Ballamoran 2 is in the works as of now.
Yes.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, Retroheads.
Mate, I've never seen one that
clean. I know.
No.
Look how fresh the stick is.
Wow. That's I love that.
Good vibes. I
Looked
know.
after.
What?
Bloody hell, that is good.
Look at that snake.
No. All that.
Oh yeah. Right, man.
Loads, mate. Like a whole collection. How cool.
What a cool figure, even got the knee bracelet on his tattoo.
Wow, that is sick.
Yeah. Nice nanny, babe.
Put in the corner. The Stinger Splash has taken him out the ring.
How much that fella at Sandown? Remember for the ring?
250. Yeah, he wanted 250. And his ring didn't look like that.
It didn't, it's shiny blue.
Yeah, no, unreal. Oh, that's the nuts. Oh, hell yeah. He gets involved in the WrestleMania.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, because he got he's at Hall of Fame with Brett. Oh, look at that. That's cool. That's my favourite figure. I just love that. Look at that t-shirt and all that. Oh, they're well been looked after, mate. Look.
Who's Brett?
Yeah, for their WrestleMania 13 match. Being groundbreaking.
Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
You're now watching 80s and 90s Retro Collectibles.
Hello, Barmy Badger Army. Yes, we're back again with a nice big collab with the lovely Swaley and Nick and the rest of the team. Yes, it's Brawling Badger here. Please do check us out on Brawling Badger Productions on YouTube. It's been a fantastic time collabing with you guys. A quick shout out to Carla's Cakes and Bakes. If you haven't visited them, please do check them out. Phone numbers there as well. Please do check them out as they are fantastic. And I've done a nice little review on them on YouTube. And lovely lady, really lovely lady. So please do check those out. They do stuff like this. Look at this, how yummy is that? Now, today we're going to talk about the boot sale finds we found today. Now, this is a Hulk Steel Rules figure. It's got all the sort of knee pads there. It's got the bandana. There's no chipping on anything. Look at how good condition that is. It's probably one of the mintiest figures I've seen out in the wild for a long time. No scratches, no nothing. I managed to pay £2.50 for this Hogan figure. And once again, £2.50 for this fantastic big evil Undertaker figure as well. I thought that was an absolute bargain. Look at that. No chipping, nothing. All the tattoos are in good condition. Face is great. There's no damage on the hair whatsoever. That's just a bit of glare. And it is a great piece of kit. And I've checked, it's all legit. So that was £2.50. That's £5 for £20 worth of wrestling figures there. Indeed. And of course, we picked up the legendary Kaplunk for £2. This was one of my favourite games as a kid, and I will be playing this with the missus and Badger Jr. and I'll probably get the baby mama and other people to play as well. I really love it. LKP will probably suffer it, but the missus will love it. Viking's going to have so much fun with this. We're going to have a lot of fun playing Kapunk and with everyone as well, and hopefully, you never know, I might get Kraken Media involved as well. Now, this is a bit of a gem. It's a bit damaged, unfortunately, which did make me sad face, but hopefully everything is in good condition. This is an old school Cluedo, original Cluedo. Look at how beautiful that looks. Murder at Tudor Hall. Yes, and all that sort of stuff. A Murder at Tudor Hall. Weekend party ends in tragedy. You've got Mr. Black, you've got Dr. Black, Colonel Mustard, Professor Plum, Reverend Green, Mrs. Peacock, Mrs. White, and Mrs. Scarlet. All the old school characters. I do love the new characters as well, but it's great to show some love to the old school ones. Look at those. Look at those characters there. They're all sort of in different... Look at that. And it's all metallic as well. This is a great addition of the game. If you have large pieces like that and metal bits and pieces, that's a fantastic addition of the game. That is really pleased to be able to find that. So that was a nice little haul there, but a good price as well. I'm very proud of the price there. So what was that? £9 spent today on 4 things. To be honest, that's not too bad, as they're high ticket items. And if I was to sell the Hogan and the Undertaker on, which I wouldn't, but if I was, I'd be quids in. So there you go, that was a great little haul. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Enjoy your Easter weekend and enjoy your WrestleMania weekend as well. If you smell what the Badger is cooking. See you all soon, and thanks for watching. And a big shout out to Swaley for letting us collab today. Please do check out Brawling Badger Productions. And I've got a new film out called Eggshells, and another new film out called Anniversary. So please do check those out. See you all soon. Bye.
And you're now watching 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
The force is strong with this one.
Welcome to Top of the Pops.
Top of the Pops.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. We're the Three Musketeers. This is Phil, this is Nick, and this is Sway. And we are going to talk today about basically what our favourite movies of the 80s, first of all, then the 90s. We'll start off with you, sir. What was your favourite, and to this day, what is your favourite 80s movie? For me, it's Rocky IV.
That's a good one. Yeah, what did I watch loads from the 80s? I watched a load of cartoon films. I was really into cartoon films in the 80s. But yeah, I'll think of some more, come back to me. But I loved that. But yeah, I really enjoyed all. I was like a big cartoon film fan. So yeah, we had lots of those.
Cool. So, my main man here, fellow bodybuilder. Look at the size of this guy. We're going to go to join the WWE, I think. You can be our manager. We're away, the new Legion of Doom. I wish. Right, anyway.
Some muscles somewhere.
Yeah. Look at them.
There you go. Right, we like working out, guys. Us, we might be geeky types, we might be into our retro and vintage stuff, but we keep fit and healthy. This guy, look, come on, here we go, guys. Hulkamania is running wild, brother. Right, what was your favourite movie that comes to mind from the 80s?
I would say probably be, this is just coming from the 80s, I'd say around, well, I think it's actually further back to be honest, but it only came about because I came across it on a shelf, and it'd have to be around the Karate Kid sort of franchise, part of the first 1 and 2 up to 3, and I'm actually surprised they're still doing sort of spin-offs now with Cobra Kai
on Netflix.
Yeah. But and they've even got the Legends with Jackie Chan in it.
Yeah.
The 80s martial arts sort of superstar. Jackie Chan films. I was being a massive fan of those.
Rumble in the Bronx. Oh, one of my favourite movies.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Rumbling in the Bronx, Armour of God.
Yeah.
Martial arts sort of films. One of the reasons why I liked it is because it kind of form of escapism for myself, where I'd like seeing people do certain extraordinary things that you wouldn't usually see everyday people do. Like, for example, jumping off walls and flying off rooftops and things like that. And it sort of fascinated me because obviously, realistically, you wouldn't see anybody, like, for example, now jumping on a tree or off a building, like, unless you're a parkour enthusiast, as you would hear or see about these days on the YouTube. But yeah, no, I think that was sort of the first time I'd see people jumping off rooftops and trees and doing all these strange acrobatic things, just like Jackie Chan. You know, one of my favourite ones would be Police Story, with Jackie Chan in it, where he's hanging off a bus with an umbrella with his stunts. And it was so extraordinary. Even now, these days, when you hear about him, is extraordinary. But yeah, I would say some of the martial art films, I can't really name just one, but I would say martial art films and action films where they would involve a lot of sort of kicking and punching, but I think it'd be things like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Kickboxer, that's it.
Bloodsport,
that's it.
AWOL, Death Warrant, The Quest in '97, which I directed. Van Damme was my favourite. That's the reason, he's the reason that I started working out. Combining him with WWF, it was like, I want to work out, and Kickboxer, one of my favourite films, man. I'm not sure if anyone could really actually name one of their favourite films from the 80s, because there are so many.
That's it.
And anybody that you ask, it puts them on the spot, because they're like, hang on, and a lot of people get a few people I've asked, your favourite 80s films, Pretty Woman actually came out in 1990.
True.
Here you go.
But
yeah.
He's done his homework.
And you know, Dirty Dancing, 1986, phenomenal film, amazing soundtrack. Terminator 2, one of the biggest films of the 1990s, released in '91. Thank you. Cut your grass tomorrow.
Right, careful, they'll hear you.
I know, it's Rachel, it's my friend.
Right. Well, this is a good time to mention that that my favourite 80s films are all comedy films. I really liked ones like Airplane, so like the 2 Airplane films, the Naked Gun films. At least one of them was made in the 80s, and films like The Money Pit, so like like all the Tom Hanks romantic comedies.
Yes.
So yeah, you know, I mean, of course, we just had The Breakfast Club has just celebrated its 40th anniversary.
Yes.
Back to the Future will be celebrating its 40th anniversary this year, the first one.
Yeah,
both really good examples of films that are still kind of like really loved nowadays. You know, and you know, in a lot of ways they were very much of their time. But that's the great thing about movies. They can capture like a certain era, which you know you can still enjoy.
Absolutely, and you know some of the best movies, the soundtracks are what I mean. Going back before the 80s, Jaws, and then you know that's musical score, and Titanic, groundbreaking film, 1997 released, the soundtrack, Celine Dion. So music is just as important as the film itself.
True.
One of my friends, who is a professional music composer, does say, without music, Jaws was just a hungry shark.
True.
And he would be right.
Hello everyone, it's the Brawling Badger here for the lovely Swaley 80s and 90s retro collector. Now the other day when I was talking with the missus on here, we had a lovely chat about retro gaming, but I drew a blank and all I could come up with was Tetris and Super Mario Land 2. Now, my brain's working again, and I've remembered that I'm totally in love with the violent, disturbing, spooky, very, very, very controversial game Night Trap that originally came out on all sorts of weird and wonderful systems, but its most notorious was the Sega Mega Drive, aka the Mega CD. Now, I only played it briefly as a child on there, for obvious reasons. It was a banned video game. But I've managed to recently play it on the PlayStation 4, as they finally promised to port it over as an anniversary special. Now this game, if you've never played it, involves you playing as a SWAT team trying to stop a load of weird vampire goblin crossover things killing all the participants of a party. Now, it's a very weird thing because you've got the evil vampires that are evil anyway, you've got the weird ones that are trying to kill you and the other vampires, and you've got all sorts of other stuff going on. It is a hodgepodge of a storyline. It doesn't make much sense, but the gameplay is very much hilarious and fun and very quick-witted. It's a Simon Says thing where you have to get the colour to each trap right. They do give you audible clues because it's an FMV, and it will say, oh yeah, change the code to yellow. So that means that every time you try and rig a trap, it has to be on the yellow. Now, the way you manage to win the game is you're able to rig all these different traps up and stop the vampires with comedic effect. This is what I mean. This is an 18 game, but its traps and things are something that Kevin McAllister would have come up with in Home Alone 1 and 2. Like the bed springs together. There's one particular one where a vampire gets tripped up and falls, and there's all sorts of weird and wonderful wacky things. And you've got that, but then you've got ultra-violent things that are also in it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. It's a real hodgepodge of a game. It can't decide if it wants to be a comedy or an ultra-violent horror, and there's a really weird mixture of stuff in there, and that's what makes it such a cult hit. That is why I love the game Night Trap, and I would love to see them make a film of it because it would be so weird. Also, on the modern front, my favourite game is Until Dawn, but I'm hoping to talk to you about that another time, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector, and of course check out my mate Nick, myself, the lovely Brawling Badger, and everyone else that's been in the comments. Please do say hi to me and the missus. It was very kind. Thank you very much to everyone that said that Viking's done a great job on the channel with Swaley and everyone. That's really kind of you. And please, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Brawling Badger. Check out one of our collabs that we do with me and the missus where we go ghost hunting, which is called Paranormal Investigators. You'll know it's me. And of course, do check out my new horror film Anniversary. And if you haven't seen the film Ballamoron, please do check that out too. See you next time, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode with Nick, Swaley and the crew. 80s and 90s Retro Collector is a great channel, so make sure you subscribe to them.
Hi everyone, my name is Minush Kaftal and I'm a singer and actress. And my favourite era is definitely got to be the 80s. The 80s music, we knew how to have a good time. Everything from Journey, Don't Stop Believing, to Culture Club, to Madonna. We'd just run onto that dance floor and we would express ourselves. I grew up in South Africa and often we were going on holiday to Plettenberg Bay and we'd go to the beach. And I think actually I had my first kiss on the beach, maybe too much information. But it was this feeling of freedom, this feeling of anything you wanted to happen could happen. And it was also innocent. It was like innocent fun, running onto the dance floor. Then in the 90s, I actually released a track called Frozen Love. So I co-wrote the track, it's techno. And the group is called Polaris, and we did Polaris featuring Minush. And I wrote the words on the tube. And again, it was this feeling of anything could happen. If you think of the 80s music, of the guy serenading the girl with his boombox outside her apartment, singing a song, like that innocence, that romance. I think we've lost something of that. Also with technology, in a way, we've lost something of that freedom and that innocent spirit. And we really had that 80s, 90s, just having fun, taking a chance, expressing yourself. When I think of the haircuts of the day and the shoulder pads and the makeup and everything that you wanted to do, you could just do whatever you wanted to be. You could be anything you wanted to be. And that's the kind of message I want to put out with music from the 80s, music from the 90s. Be whoever you want to be. I've just done a video right now for, well, not now, it was a few months ago, for TikTok called Love Luxury, and I played a cat lady, and it was such fun, you know, buying a handbag for a cat. Like, whatever you want to do, you can do. And that was what growing up in the 80s and 90s and the music of that era showed me. If you want to get up on the bar and dance, this is what we did on holiday now in South Africa. We were in a bar where they kept playing music from the 80s. And people are there remembering those days, but those days could be now. You know, the kids for today need to listen to that era and have sort of that spirit. Somebody said to me, I wish I'd grown up in the 80s. Well, you can feel like you're growing up in the 80s now. And we got up in the bar and we were dancing, all innocently, no alcohol, just pure fun.
I'm watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. When it comes to gaming, I remember growing up in the 80s, you know, coming from London, growing up with my younger siblings. I remember the first computer that came in the house, and it was like 2 bars with a ball, like the game of tennis, growing up in the 80s. And then, you know, we used to go down to the local arcades in the social club in London and go and play Pac-Man and Space Invaders. And that was when we had that game, you know, in the house, and we used to play. Remember, as a child, me and my school friends and siblings, we used to play Pac-Man and Space Invaders. So these are the games that I remember growing up in the 80s, you know, when they first came out. So yeah, so bye for now, speak to you soon.
Hey Retro Heads, it's Nick here, and well, today, while I'm on my way to filming, Swaley has asked me to talk a bit about my past with video games. I've never been very good at them, I'll confess this, and we were a bit of a late starter to video games in our family. We first got a NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, for Christmas in 1991. And it came with the first Super Mario game, and well, at the time that was all we needed. We were pretty much all hooked instantly. I know the original Super Mario game does look dated by today's standards, but it's easy to forget just how amazing and innovative it was at the time. And we pretty much swore allegiance to Nintendo, because we couldn't afford both Nintendo and Sega machines. But so many good games that we played along the way. Dizzy, Kirby. My microphone has fallen down. This is what happens when you do videos while walking. As well as Dizzy, Kirby, Legend of Zelda. So many good games that just like in the 90s were the most exciting thing ever. There was probably a bunch of grown-ups complaining about how we spent far too much time on them, but you know, if they'd had them in their day, they'd probably been addicted to them as well. I got my first Game Boy in 1993. I was 12. I have no idea how I managed to save up enough money for it, but you know, I absolutely love Tetris. I had Lemmings as well, which I really enjoyed. There were a bunch of Mario games for that one, which were all great, and lots of other games I liked. The Tiny Toon games were really good fun.
and Wario, who, of course, who can forget him? So many good ones. The last time I really played on a video game that much was Spyro on the PS2, I think it was, year 2000, which I like to think I did okay at. I didn't collect absolutely everything that you need, all the jewels and stuff that you needed to complete the game, but, you know, I like to think I did well. I don't do a lot of that kind of video gaming nowadays, as I don't really have a lot of time, and also, as I mentioned, I'm not very good at it, but it's an important part of my history and my childhood that I'm thankful for. And hopefully, those of you watching this, bus passing, will know exactly what I mean. Thanks for watching today, everyone. Don't forget you can find me on all the socials at Nickfield Media and also at nickfieldmedia.com. And come and see one of my comedy shows soon as well.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy Jay Keys. I'm here with my brother Swaley. Welcome to the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. You know what it is, guys. Go check out his page, yeah? He's killing it right now. Let's go!
It's Jackson, my youngest. Jasper! My goodness. He's a pickle. Again! Look at that curtain. Or voile, should I say. Yeah, I see you. Oh dear.
Cookie, cookie, cookie. Cookie. Mmm. We love cookie.
Hi there, folks. It's Phil Crew here from The Phil Crew Show. Wow.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
You look like a blueberry.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Well, you have bad hair.
What did you say?
I said your hair looks stupid.
Hello there. Trial test number 1. So, Jasper, what's your thoughts on this one? Eat the microphone. That's what I thought. No, it's not an ice cream, son. Cut!
Boom. Boom. See the back row? Yeah, look at that. Cool, mate. The size of your back. Jesus. That's, yeah, I love it. Yeah, this is the best one.
I'm going to do a video. Subscribe to 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Boom.
Yeah, you do go. You are now watching 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
We're now watching 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Whenever you're ready. Bang. Let's do this.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector, so come through.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
The Space Jam website was launched in 1996 to coincide with the release of the film of the same name starring Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes crew. Now, this website has been archived and is a good example of how websites looked in the 1990s. More and more homes were getting the internet at around this time, but they were still using the dial-up connection, which means that websites took a lot longer to load, meaning the websites that we had back then were a lot more simplistically designed than the ones you see today. As you can tell, there are some bits where the writing and the backgrounds sort of like they don't go together very well, as you can see. And there wasn't really any sort of flashy graphics because they would just take too long to load. You can click on various parts here that do keep it very simple, so you just click through, see a few things here. You've got a few bits from the movie here, for those of you who remember it when it first came out. Again, you've got a few bits here where the background and the writing, not very easy to read. You wouldn't have something like this now.
But yeah, this was what we had back in the 90s. I mean, if I go onto something like here, this is a much more modern day looking site. Now, something like this, if you were running this on dial-up internet in the 90s, it would take forever to load. But yeah, feel free to have a look at it yourself, and yeah, just kind of for a bit of a blast from the past of what websites looked like in the dial-up era when homes were just sort of like getting the internet for the first time. You can find it at spacejam.com/1996.